Hello, everyone. Welcome to this webinar session on Java with cloud computing. Hope you all have a wonderful learning experience out of this webinar. Just opening the presentation deck. Yes. Just a second. Yeah, here we go. This whole webinar is organized by our Tagore Engineering College, located in Chennai. We three people, myself, Sanjay, and two of my friends, Kamlesh and Shruthi, we were the former students of our college and the current alumni of Tagore Engineering College, and we were part of the same CSE department. And this webinar is also brought to you by CSE department of Tagore Engineering College. In our learning days, we had a lot of our college moments that we cherish as wonderful memories now, and it is a wonderful environment to you to start your learning in terms of engineering, in computer science, or whatever your favorite stream of engineering. It's a wonderful experience. And as I'd like to say a quote from Gandhi, like, be the change you wish to see in the world. Like, whatever you want to do, it's up to you. Like, how you mold your career, how you position yourself, and how you want to take it further, and developing the skills, everything. And our college provides a lot of this support to students. Starting from faculty, we still have a lot of wishes when there's a function, or we still message our college staff, faculty, SARs and MAMs and HODs, and we have that good relationship as teachers and students till now. And that's one beautiful part. And that's when we speak of this, I'm reminded of all the technical events, culturals, the fun experiences that we had in our college days. So it is one good down the memory lane kind of a thing. So coming back to this session, as I said, it is organized by our CSE department of Tagore Engineering College, and this session will heavily focus on Java with cloud computing as well. So I'm just introducing the presenters for the day. Here we go. Myself, Sanjay. I'm a cloud specialist at Wipro. I work in Sholingalur branch, the CDC5, Chennai Development Center of Wipro, wherein I work in a lot of big data and Google Cloud projects. There are three clouds, popular clouds: AWS, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud. I work mainly on Google Cloud, and sometimes I work on AWS as well. So that's my experience as cloud, a cloud engineer and a cloud specialist. And introduce yourself, friends, Shruthi and Kamlesh. Go ahead.
I am Kamlesh, and you can see my designation. I am a software engineer in Accenture, and I trained there as a full stack development Java engineer, and I am working currently in Java development projects. And that's all about me.
Hello guys. My name is Shruthi. I'm currently working in Southern Global Services as an associate consultant. So we are conducting this session to provide a basic knowledge about Java technologies. So moving on to session slides. So as my friend said, we all studied in Tagore Engineering College in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, where we have learned different technical languages. In that process, we are going to share about the basic knowledge, what we have learned from our college, to help you in technical languages. So coming to the part of Java, what is Java? Java is just an object-oriented programming language where it mainly focuses on the data rather than logical structures. So it is considered as an object-oriented programming language. Other than that, the Java is used for compiling and debugging the code very easily. So another important feature of Java language is write once, run anywhere. It defines that we can write a program and run in any of our operating systems in a system. So it is also considered as a platform independent because it can perform in Linux, Windows, and Mac OS. It is mainly designed for web applications or an internet applications, for example, sending and receiving an emails, searching or browsing a particular topic, what we have to learn, etc. for that. And in present IT industry, this language is most widely accepted in all sectors, and it is also famous for Android applications. Moving on to next slide. It is a Java architectural and neutral structure where a Java code is compiled by a Java C compiler, in which the Java class is get converted into a class file and run via the Java virtual machine. It will share to the operating systems only when there are no memory leakages or any further issues. Next slide. It's write once and run anywhere concept. As we studied in our previous slides, we can know that it can be run in any of our system of operating we are using, where the Java file is get converted to a class file by the compiler and run via the Java virtual machines, and it get converted into an execution process with only the binary code, that is zeros and ones, while executing. So the main important reason why we are using Java in everywhere is there are two reasons that we are using. One is the C and C++ languages are not platform independent and they are not at all portable languages. Along with that, the emergence of World Wide Web provided that it mainly focuses on that portable programs and also in platform independent programs. The other important feature is Java Virtual Machine provides a secured and a portability language, which is the main intention of Java, that we are going to the technical language of Java. The most important and the major features of Java are multi-threading, robustness, reliability, etc. Coming to part of multi-threading, we can consider the same program and we use executed the programs into a simultaneous manner in different same programming concepts. Along with that, it can also provide packages and interfaces, where packages contain several class files to run and interfaces also use it to run the programs. Where the C++ will contain a set of library functions like stdio.h and ponyo.h. We have used it to execute our programs with the help of header files. But in case of Java, we are replacing those header files and library functions as it has its own set of API classes. And along with the Java also provides automatic garbage collection. Automatic garbage collection in the sense it provides an automatic memory management sections where it can delete the unused objects to free up the memory space. So the Java does not use go-to keywords since that we are using a continue and break statements to provide a label as a targets. And the use of Unicode characters provide portability of Java technical language. Next slide. Now let's jump into the concept of classes and objects, which are most important in Java language. Coming to part of class, it is a blueprint or a protocol, or it can also be called a structure where the objects are get created. In a class file, in a class, we are going to write a program code, and there we have to create an objects. From the help of objects, we can easily access the other classes with the help of objects. So object is also called as an instance of a class. The syntax of object creation is class name, object name is equal to new class name of in parenthesis. So the most important is the method creation. The method creation is a process where we have to execute different functionalities in our particular code, and it can follow a proper syntax that is access modifier, where it is a public, private, protected or default, and followed by return data type along with the method name. Excellent. So these are the written types of the data types which we are frequently using in our method creations. So int is always an integer, string is a string, and double is only a that which is precision of 64-bit to get a floating type, and float is a floating type, and void is nothing. Except array, all the data types will have the same written types. So the most important concept of OOPS are inheritance, encapsulation, polymorphism, and abstraction. Coming to the part of inheritance, it is a property where if we create two classes, the one class will be able to access the another class property with the help of an extends keyword. So this extends keyword will provide the code reusabilities. It is also considered as an important feature in Java technologies. So parent class is also called base class or super class, whereas child class is also called as derived class or subclass. So these are the types of inheritance. Coming to single level inheritance, we are creating a class A and class B. Class A is base class and class B is derived class, where B has its own properties and also inherit the properties from A. This is a multi-level inheritance where a single base class will contain more than one derived class. And it's a multiple inheritance. It is not supported in Java because more than one parent class is present for one child class. Coming to part of hybrid inheritance, it is also called as a combination of single inheritance and multi-level inheritance. So hierarchical inheritance is a single base class will contain more than one derived class. So the other important feature of Hooks concept is encapsulation. As the name itself implies that encapsulating in the sense we are going to wrap the code and the data together in a single unit. It is called as encapsulation. In this, the variables are hidden from outside of the class where the data hiding is done. So we are mainly using a new concept here called this keyword, which is used to assign a variable. The main concept of this keyword is we are going to invoke the current object with the help of a reference variable in Java with the help of this keyword. Another important feature is polymorphism. The polymorphism can be determined as a single task can be performed in many forms. It can follow two important terms, that is a polymorphism has a method overloading and method overriding. Method overloading is also called as compile time polymorphism and static binding. In this method overloading, we are using the same method name, same class, but we are passing a different type of arguments in the method name. Next, method overriding or runtime polymorphism or a dynamic polymorphism. In this, we can achieve this concept by using a same method name and same arguments that we can pass, but it can init different subclasses. Abstraction. Abstraction is the process of hiding the implementation details from the end user, which can follow the two basic terms, that is abstract class and the interface. So we can see the basic difference in abstract class and the interface are, abstract class is a class where we can extend it by using the help of extends keyword, and interface is not at all a class. We can implement this by using an implement keywords. So abstract class can support both the concrete and the abstract method. So coming to part of concrete method is a type of method where we can have a method declaration, and abstract methods do not have it. We do not have any method bodies. So interface is a part of implement technologies where it can support only the abstract methods. So abstract class can provide partial abstraction because it has both the concrete and the abstract methods, and interface can provide a fully abstraction because it supports only the abstract methods. Coming to part of abstract class, it is necessary to mention the public abstract because it do not contain a method bodies, and interface need not to be mentioned the public abstract. So in this session, I'm going to wrap up and give a control over to Sanjay to give a basic difference between C and C++. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Shruthi, for the brief introduction with regards to the Java programming language. So, guys, my part will be in explaining you about the differences between Java and C. You might have learned C in your class 11 or 12, and you might have had some experience with C++ as well, which is your object oriented stuff. The main difference between Java and C is basically a structured programming language. It follows a structural process. It is more of a procedure. But in Java, it is a completely object-oriented programming language. It is a pure object-oriented programming language to say. And Java does not explicitly support the pointer type. this is one of the favorite questions of any interviewer. Like they will just ask you to say, come on, tell us about pointers in Java. If you say yes, there are pointers in Java, they are just it is like kind of kind of testing you whether you know the actual concept or not. So basically, Java does not support an explicit pointer type. It has other methods to do that using this keyword and all. This is a keyword used to perform an equivalent method, but it does not support pointers mainly because of let's say C supporting pointers via malloc, and it will reference the pointer will reference to the value of another variable. But what happens, it will reference the memory location. But for us, for building large scale applications, directly referencing a memory location is not a good thing. So Java outrightly does not do that. So it is more of a secure and a language that can handle a large amount of scale. And you might have used the preprocessors like hash include, hash define, whatever in your C program, but Java does not support that. It uses packages and interfaces. It mainly uses packages where we can import our thing, whatever tools that we need, whatever kind of tools needed to achieve a program that we want to execute. And Java does not include structures, unions, enum data types, whatever you use in C. And Java does not include keywords like goto, size of, and typedef. And Java has, adds, Java has a break and continue statement like C, but it has added some labels. And Java requires, many features for object-oriented programming language, as I discussed previously. So moving on to, this next slide of, from C++. If you're a plus 2 student, and you might have encountered in my plus 2, I studied C++, with object-oriented paradigm, and it has also subjects, support C++. Is also a good object-oriented language, but in C++ you can write a program without following object-oriented techniques. But in Java, that's not the case. You have to follow an object-oriented pattern while writing your programs. That is why it is called purely object-oriented. And as I previously said, why Java doesn't support pointers, because it's mainly to avoid unauthorized access of memory locations. I give you a good example, right? If it goes and accesses a particular memory location and it deletes an important file there, what happens to the entire system? That's the part where Java jumps in and says, no, this is the right method to do in the programming language Java. This concept is taken care of as serious note. And Java does not include structures and unions from C++, and Java does not support operator overloading, but operator overloading is possible in C++. You might have had a section about C++ operator overloading. How do you do that in your plus 2s? But Java does not do operator overloading. And preprocessor, as we said earlier, is not in Java, and Java does not perform automatic type conversions. Java is a strongly typed programming language. Strongly typed in the sense you have to clearly mention which kind of data type that you want to use, whether it's an integer, whether it's a string, because it will expect the same. Let's say you mention an integer, but you are trying to convert it into a double or float. The automatic type conversion does not happen. But in some languages, in C++, the automatic type conversions happen. But in Java, you have to separately do the type conversion, and only then the compiler will understand that you are converting a type, let's say a data type of integer, you are trying to convert into a float. But it does not do automatically. You have to mention it. Java is kind of strict guy in this whether the compiler wants to expect the exact thing what you have declared as a data type. And this improves the precision. This improves Java's reach and love among developers. And large systems are built using Java mainly because of its scalability and memory management, safety, security as well. This is still there are a lot of projects that are done in Java, and there are a lot of developers being hired to maintain those projects and to develop cool new features. I think Java 12 is the current version. Java, it came from the JDK, came from 1.6, 1.7, 1.8. Now it's going on rapidly. So that's the cool part about Java. Handing over the session to my friend Kamlesh. Kamlesh, yeah, your time, man.
Thank you, Sanjay. Um, Hello, can you hear me, Sanjay?
Yes, Kamlesh, you can start sharing your screen. I have made you the host. Yeah.
Okay. So my screen is visible.
Yes, Kamlesh. Yes, yes. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. And let's move on to our part. And as my friend Shruthi and Sanjay talked about what is Java and the basics of Java, how Java is different from C, and how the Java is different from C++. And simply, I'm going to show you the sample code implementation, how you can easily implement Java. And we are going to use Eclipse 2019 9 version here to implement Java code. And we are going to see about 4 to 3 programs to see how simple Java is and how native and how you can uh, write code in Eclipse so easily. Just see what are the parameters to know about to implement the coding concept in Eclipse. Uh, First one is class. Shruti explained all about class. It's just an structure which gives us a structure where we can store functions and many kinds of codes. And public is a keyword which gives us access, which is access modifier. There is a different kinds of access modifiers like private, protected, and public is one of it. And static is a keyword. If we declare any method as static, it is known as a static method. It is a kind of method which gives us a different kind of advantage when we are simply given it without a static and giving it with the static. There is a lot of difference between static and non-static methods. And then void is return type, which will return nothing. We maximum use it with the method which doesn't return anything. And main is starting point of program in C. Also, the main is a starting point in C++. Also, the main is a starting point. And here also, then obviously, main is the starting point in Java. And other kind of things. Here we are using a system.out.println as a print statement. In C and C++, we use printf statement. Here we are using system.out.println. And obviously, we are going to show how we are a simple program which is yeah old kind of program like hello world program from C++. We always start with hello world, and here also the same thing is happening. And let's we move on to the programming executions. uh, Kindly see here, hello world program is given. uh, this is the Eclipse 2019 9 version. The class name of this class is hello world, and we are using the main class. The execution starts from the main. You already know it. And to print the hello world, we are using print statement. If you give control space here, it will show all the classes that present under the system. Where simply when we give a dot, and it will give everything what we need. That's why we are using Eclipse, and this simplifies our task. And if I press Control F11, or I give run means, it will show hello world. Here you can see the output. And we move on to some simple program. Here it is a class. The class name is I given it as class name. Why? Because you can give any name as a class name. That's why I simply gave it as a class name uh, and then you need to follow some what to say. You need to give the starting letter as a C. You will learn it later. But let's see here. Public class name. We are defining a class, and inside we are initializing two variables, one integer variable and a string which is given as a name. And the execution start here. We are going to see how the object is created. We can create it with three different types. That is by we can create an object through initialize an object to three different ways. That is by referencing a variable, by method, and by constructor. First, we are going to see how a class is created and how the object is initialized for that class. And then we are going to see two different methods. By using a constructor is a bit more difficult. Like it is so easy, but as a beginner, if you start getting to know about the reference variable and the method, the constructor will be come in handy for you. It will be so easy. Let us see first about how it is implemented in a class, simple class, how the object is initialized in a class. Uh, to initialize an object for a class, we need to use the same name as the class name and a reference name. You can give any reference name. You can give simply mention here as a reference name or F, anything. I gave C as a reference name, and the syntax for this is a new class name, as Shruthi already explained it about how to initialize an object. We are using the same method like class name and reference variable and then new class name. This is the method of initializing an object, and then we are going to print what is in that object. Here we are already initialized an ID and name, and we are going to refer that class using the object that is given us. We are using the reference variable, and if we give dot and the control space, it will give both the variables that is already initialized under the class name, and it is both ID and name. If you give C dot, it will give you ID. If you give C dot, it will give you name. If you run this program, it will print it as 0 and null. It is because ID is not initialized to anything, and name is not initialized to anything, and name is null because it is a string, and ID is 0 because it is an integer. And then we are moving on to two different methods. As I said before, it is object initialization through the reference and the object initialization through the method. First, we are going to see the object initialization through the reference. The same as the class initialization, but we are going to give an value for the ID and name. See here, we are created a class which is named as object by reference, and then we initialize ID and name here. After that, we are creating another class to test the previously created class. See here, we are creating a class which is object by reference, and we initialize the variable ID and name. We are creating another class which is going to test the class through referencing that class. When you come under this, we are using main. Obviously, program going to start from here. Let's see. Okay, let's see here. The program start from main. When start from, it is going to initialize an object for the class which is named as object by reference. See here, object by reference, and R is the reference name, and initializing same as new object reference. We are going to refer it through R dot. It will give both the initialized variable ID and name, and we are giving a value for ID as 0, 1, and we are giving a name for string name as some name. And then we are going to print it here with giving a space between them. And if we run that program, it will give the output as 1 and some name, which is we already given a value for ID and name. And then another method, it is calling initializing object through a method. Sorry. Initializing an object through a method. Same thing is followed here, except for a single change that we are creating a method and calling the method here. See, we are creating a method which is a void method which does not return anything. Simply, we are not going to return anything, but we are going to print the ID and name when this method is called here. We are creating a class which is named as object by method, and we are initializing int ID and string name, and we are creating a method named as display, and we are going to get ID and name as an argument, and then we are going to print that name and ID. When we come down here, we are going to test that object by method class by calling the method as well as the initialized variable inside the class above. See here, object by method, m is the reference variable we are using here, and is equal to new object method. We are initializing the object for the class, which we are already created above, and then we are giving a value as 0, 2 for the ID and someone for the name, and we are calling the method See here, we are calling the method display with the argument we are initialized, like we are saved 0 2 and someone with the argument passing to the method, and then we are going to print here 0 2 and summing. Let's see whether it is working or not. Yeah, it's working. See, we are calling the method from a class which is different from the other class which we are referencing here. This is the different types of initializing object through a reference variable and through a, object initialization through method, and object initialization through constructor is easy. We are going to use this variable and all. But when we are getting to know about the object by method and object by reference, it will be more simple to you understand by object initialization through constructors. And these are my part of explaining the code implementation. Like, it's so simple. I am giving you a simple example about what is what and how to implement the Java codes like classes and object. And we are putting in C. It is up to you to grow. And Sanjay.
Yes, Kamlesh. Yes, Kamlesh. So yeah, I think I'll take over the session from now. Yes, Kamlesh. Okay. Kamlesh, kindly make me the host.
Oh, okay. Okay, Sanjay. Sorry. Is it okay for you, Sanjay, now?
Yeah, I think now it's fine.
Can you able to share the screen?
Yeah, fine. I mean, I think I'm getting this host to disable the participant screen sharing. Kindly make me the host, Kamlesh.
What, Sanjay?
Kindly make me the host.
Wait, Sanjay, wait. Sanjay, you are the host now.
Yeah, sure, just a minute. Yeah, I think I can share my screen now. Yeah, fine. Yes. Thanks, Kamlesh. Thanks for that. So continuing with the session, yeah, I'll give you a brief about cloud computing and how we are using. So you see this comic, right? A person going and filling his slot in the cloud, and computers everywhere in the cloud, and that's the whole point, right? Wherever you have, this is the straight point definition of cloud computing. It is like on-demand availability of computer system resources. Let's say you want to build a next, a great app, maybe next a viral app, but you have to buy data centers. You have to buy first a server, and then you have to scale it up. Let's say you have 10,000 users coming in, and the users rate spikes to 1 lakh and 10 lakhs and more than millions. So how do you handle the load? That's where cloud computing helps you enormously. Let's say a company who is already a company which is already using data center resources, but they are not able to scale up to the current demands, and the latest technology is not up to their mark in their data centers. What they do, they opt for cloud computing. They migrate their on-demand resources to cloud. And let's say this basic use case of if you want to build the next Facebook or the next WhatsApp, you need to have lots of compute power resources to handle the load, and to handle the user management, to do machine learning, to do artificial intelligence stuff, to do a lot of things, right? Let's say if you want to develop it from scratch, that is going to take you a long time. So why waste the time? Use cloud wherever it's that easy. It's that easy and simple. So you get cloud storage, you get compute power, you get data center. Data centers of top class companies like Google, Amazon, and Microsoft. They manage all these infrastructure based things for you, and the only thing you have to do is you just have to worry about your code and the logic and how it solves a problem. The main part of an app is, you are solving some user's problem, and they are in turn, hopping onto your app and making use of it. That's the main point, right? So these and you can distribute it over multiple locations, right? Let's say your users are from Europe or US. You can, point the servers accordingly to that. That's one great demand. I mean, that's one great, usage. Let's say your users are from India. What you can do, you can point the server, to the nearest Asia Pacific APAC data centers. This is, one of the main breakthroughs and access level, because you get optimized CDN, which is called as content delivery network. Because you see, right, YouTube, you can download YouTube, or you can you can you can watch YouTube videos, because very fast, in a very fast manner, other than normal websites, because they are optimized with CDNs, content delivery networks, and cloud does that for you. So moving on to the real scope, and okay, I'll be basically giving you examples of Google Cloud, because that is where my primary skill set is, and so that's a lot of stuff. I recently got certified as a Google Cloud professional data engineer, and I am on the path of the architect as well, the Google Cloud architect PCA exam. So all these apps, right, right from search, be it Maps, be it Google Play, be it Chrome, using your Google Drive, and these. I'm not sure whether you have used Google Ads, but that's one killer app, for a marketer or for people who are doing digital stuff, and YouTube as well. I gave you an example before itself, and Cardboard is a VR thing. Every platform, every such billion plus users software, these things run on Google Cloud, which is Google's managed infrastructure, and they're opening it for you and me. How cool is that, right? Because we can make use of it, and we don't have to buy a hardware server or a data center. If users come spiking in someday and users are not using someday, everything, the elastic scalability, everything is taken care of cloud. So yes, this is one click view of the whole Google Cloud components. It starts from Google Stack driver, which is your monitoring, and I mean let's say you want to monitor a web application, you use Google Stack driver. You use Compute Engine. We will see an example of Compute Engine in this video, right? How how you can deploy resources, how we can use VMs, and this concept of preemptible VMs comes in, right? Let's say you have 10,000 users on day 10, but you did not have 10,000 users on day 20, and you are somewhere around 4,000 users. At that time, what happens is these VMs just come down automatically. It scales down automatically. This is the concept of elasticity. As per your requirements, it does not charge you for that. Let's say you are paying for 10,000 users on day 10, but on day 20, if you have low users, you will pay only for whatever you use, not for everything, right? But for in a normal setup, it is not possible, right? Cloud gives you that freedom. And you go App Engine. I think many of you would have used Snapchat. The generation of Snapchat. Snapchat is there, right? That is mainly built on App Engine. If you see, if you just go and say Snapchat tech stack, you will find App Engine, Google's App Engine, right over the top. So these are some of the cool technologies, like cool compute powers, and the storage is and storage networking. I can go on and on, but I would like to give you some demo and expose the real power. Like it supports a lot of ranges, right? Like from Hadoop to Cassandra to Redis, and Nginx is one of the powerful servers. Like it is a far better version than your Apache Tomcat server. And PHP, it's Facebook initially was built on top of PHP using it is called as hack virtual machine of PHP, HVVM they used to say. It is again all these technologies are supported with cloud as well. In this we'll be heavily concentrating on Google Cloud. So I'll just share my screen and open my account in Google Cloud. So here we go. So I'll give you a quick demo of how we launch a VM. So this is my console. Yeah, I have since I use it since I use Google Cloud a lot, this is my personal account where I can try a lot of stuff for me, right? So Let's say I want to go to here is the navigation panel where you can find a lot of stuff. The new release stuff is called Anthos, which you can use for hybrid cloud. Let's say you have some part of your workload in high data center and some part in your cloud. This is the base use case of Anthos, and it has a lot of platform capabilities. And let's go to compute engine. I'll just give you one quick example, of spinning off a VM on the cloud, right? Okay, cool. Here we go then. Yeah, I have created some of them, and yeah, let's see. So let's say webinar VM, right? This is on a webinar. Let's say Tagore. Let me say this server is in US Central Iowa, but I can change it wherever I want. Let's say I want Los Angeles, or let's say okay, Oregon. Okay, this is US West. This is the zone. In this, there's two types, region and zone. Let's say 1C, and you see this, right? 1A as some machines supported, right, memory optimized, but these are the types that you have. I can go for APAC as well. I think the nearest data center to us, which is right, yeah, Asia, right? Mumbai is the closest data center, Asia South, right? Okay, let's stick with US itself for a moment. US Central one, Iowa, because US Central one has a lot of memory optimized, and it depends on the region, right? Okay, let me go with this default, and let's say if you want to change a lot of machine images, you can just do it here. Let's say I want I'll stick with Debian, or if you want the Red Hat Enterprise Linux or Ubuntu or Windows Server, it's up to you. I'm just going with the default, and let's say I want to allow HTTP traffic. I'll show you one quick example there, and you see I'll give all access to my cloud APIs. So this is called default service account. Google has the users policies. Okay, I'll just create one. So it takes some time to create it. Yeah. You see this, right? It will take some time because a VM has to be spun off. It will take a minute or two. So let us, dive back to our thing, right? So I'll present from the current slide, and I'll give you some of the cooler features of Google Cloud. Yeah. So let's say you want to develop something, a vision API to understand faces, to recognize faces. But if you build it from scratch, it will take a lot of time. So here's the advantage of cloud, wherein you can use APIs for that. You can convert. You can take a photo of your document and have the text extracted from it using optical character recognition, which is called OCR, and you can detect logos. You can restrict some searches based on certain keywords, and you can do a lot of stuff using APIs. You don't have to you don't have to start coding from scratch. What you have to do is REST API or a GraphQL API. You just have to give push. There are HTTP request, which is like delete, post. When you give a post request, you post something from your application to the Vision API, so that the Vision API analyzes that part of your image and gives you back. You can retrieve that using a GET request. You can basically do that very easily. So these are you can use it with the Java and whatever Kamlesh said. These are some of the advanced features which you can do with the cloud. So the next slide goes like this. Okay, natural language API. You see, right? Whatever text you write, whatever feedback you give on an Amazon review, these things will be sentiment analyzed. How is your sentiment? How is the buyer giving a review? Is this review gonna support? Help the company, or what they can learn to do better, right? They can do syntax analysis, entity recognition, which means like, let's say you say in a Facebook post, you post a picture of Eiffel Tower. You are standing there and you are posting that picture. You don't have to mention that. The APIs recognize and extract the entities. Let's say you are on a tour to France, and you took the photo on near the Eiffel Tower. That's that's the kind of advanced thing. The multi-language support you might have seen, right? You type in some other language, but Google just even if Spanish or whatever language, it will just give you whatever in the target language. Let's say English is the target language you want to understand, it will give you that. So this was, we spoke about it. It will automatically will detect languages. It will have continuous updates, and you will use all these APIs with a magic of a click. Using REST API commands. It's that easy. But you have to learn Java programming based on that use case. What are the problems that you would like to solve with all these APIs? So it is a video intelligence API. Let's say a suspicious thing is happening, but the video intelligence, you can program the video intelligence API in such a manner, whether if let's say a person carries a gun, the video intelligence API can respond. I can program it in such a way like it is a harmful a thing that is being carried, or if it's a climate change in a place, if the video intelligence API can respond to it and alert you in the right moment, so that you can do the precautions, or you can take the next step of action, right? It is segmentation and a lot of things, right? Regionalization, how this video will and to which region this can go to. So I'll just show that VM creation, right? And yeah, we have the VM, right? So this is our external IP. So I can just go here. So this is the IP which I can use it to access. Let's say I want to switch it into the server. So it will connect the VM via SH keys. SH means secure shell. You will learn a lot about these concepts in your coming things. So now we haven't, posted a server. I mean, we just have given our VM, so it will do those stuff. And let's say I want to view network details, right? It is VPC. VPC is nothing but virtual private cloud. So these are all the targets folders where I have configured, right? Let's say we want to do some sort of development of web application or a mobile application. We just have to, install a server on this machine. I'll just open this Cloud Shell. So Cloud Shell is an inbuilt, in Unix style command line interface where you can give a lot of your commands, whatever you like, right? So it will take its own time. So I'll just give you a walkthrough of all the capabilities that you can do. Let's say you want Firestore. Firestore is one great tool, let's say, for your mobile applications. Firestore users integrates seamlessly with Firebase, where you can do the authentication and and a lot of stuff, right? So this is it takes the time, right? Because it has to establish the connection as well as So this is the command line where you can say ls. It is just a readme, right? Readme cloud shell.txt. I'll see what is in there. I'll say we get some cat is the command to see that. Let's see, ls. I'll just copy this and I'll say cat. So it will just give me what a welcome to cloud. It is just giving this message, right? It's a tool for managing this. It is about tool, right? So I'll head over to this Firestore, right? And with this, you can see Firebase. It takes its time to run. See, this is the data store mode, and you can see a lot of runtimes, Python runtimes and PHP runtimes are supported in native in data store mode. You can, all runtimes are supported, Java runtime and whatever. So these are the stuffs basically available in Google Cloud. So if I take on and on, it'll take its own time. You see, right? But to give you a core message, like PubSub is an equivalent to Kafka, and Dataproc is an equivalent to Hadoop in top of Google Cloud, and it has ephemeral clusters for artificial intelligence, the services that we saw here, right? With respond to video intelligence, natural language, everything, it will be covered here. So you can learn a lot, and you can build Google Maps. Let's say Ola, Uber, these guys integrate with Google Maps using these cloud solutions. So you have a lot of stuff, and I'll give you one quick example where you can learn from this, right? So since this was an intro session to Java and cloud computing, we are just wrapping up with this. But to learn further, you want to use Quick Labs. which is a great tool. You don't have to pay for, but you can use Google Cloud automatically. Let's say I want to use a Kubernetes, right? So I just go here and see. The lab will get started. An environment that we got here. This is my paid environment. My billing is attached here. But what you can do is you can create your own environment, via this without billing. I've provided my billing details here, but in Quick Labs you don't have to do that. You can learn a lot with this, and once when you are confident in implementing that, you can use the actual account, right? Actual billing account, wherein you can see my billing account here. I haven't used anyone, but I have a lot of credits to use. This is one of my hackathon accounts, so this has a lot of credits, right? Okay, these are the parts where you can also continue with learning. Let's say you want to learn Java based cloud. So I'll give you this example. So this is the application development app engine, which we talked about, right? Snapchat uses app engine to manage its resources. You can use Java and learn app engine as well, and you can use it for your apps. This is the basic session. So whatever we covered, it's just on the next steps what you can do. So I have my So this is my credentials. I mean, cloud thing, but this is my payment method, right? I give for you to create your account, you have to give your card and such details. But for this is my card, so I've given my details. But for using Quick Labs, you don't need that. You can start. Pretty much many labs are free for you. Some labs are paid, but you can access them by attending a developer GDGs and a lot of stuff. You can find out Google Developers Group meetups. So you'll get a lot of stuff there. So I would just want to conclude my Google Cloud talk. Let's say, so these are the things that I've learned as part of I've given my cloud engineering application development 4 months ago. So these are the completions that I've done on Quick Labs. So I can use my skills. I can develop my skills here and use it as a training ground, and I can implement in the actual thing here, right, in my cloud account. So this is one of the recommended methods to learn cloud. Okay, then I'm just jumping back to this slide. So guys, thank you. Come on, let's summarize this. Kamlesh and Shruthi. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, Sanjay.
Thank you, Sanjay, for your brief and detailed explanation about Google computing. So in this session, we have learned about Java introduction and its most important components about OOPS-based object-oriented technologies. And Kamlesh, thank you for Java code walkthrough. And Sanjay, and a detailed explanation about cloud computing and Google Cloud and VM implementations.
Any words, Kamlesh, from your last final words on the webinar?
I can't hear you, Sanjay.
Your thoughts, your final thoughts to wrap up the session.
My thoughts is like everything. It's like practice makes it permanent. That's the only say I can say it now. Like we can give a small hints how to work with cloud, how to work with Java, how we can implement Java, and it's up to them to try it and practice it more and more. And getting handy with the code is. We need to play around with the codes to get to know about the codes more better.
That's a very good word. Yeah.
So that's the only thing I can say. Practice makes perfect, but practice makes it permanent.
Yeah. Good.
That's the real thing.
Yeah, that's a great point, Kamlesh. Yeah, friends who are who is watching and trying to learn Java and cloud computing. Practice is the key, and you have a lot of resources to learn. Let's say I gave you examples of Quick Labs, and after that you can practice there, and you can do the real thing on your cloud, your paid account, and you can launch your favorite application that can solve users problem, right? A lot of apps comes these days, and it solves a particular user problem. Let's say you have a users of 10,000 users, but that's a great thing still. You solve a problem that 10,000 people face, right? So that's a cool thing that you can do. As far as this webinar is concerned, we hope that you learned a handful of things with respect to Java. Shruthi starting from basics, and the OOPS concepts, the object-oriented programming system. And Kamlesh, thank you for giving the big pieces of explaining the code and how it works in an IDE, an integrated development environment, like an industry standard tool like Eclipse, which is widely popular. I have seen many people using Eclipse across the industry for Java development. And Google Cloud is up and coming. You can you can go for AWS or Azure. It's your choice. But Google Cloud, in my view, it is very advanced in terms of data management and a lot of stuff. Right? You have really advanced tools like integration with artificial intelligence or maps. In a blink of a second. So that's the power. So I just want to emphasize on my favorite cloud technology. Right? Yeah. Thank you guys for watching, and we thank our our CSE department, and we thank all the department HODs and principal for giving us this wonderful opportunity to share our knowledge. And yeah, thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you, Shruthi.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Peace out.
Done.
Yeah, done.